Hello YouTube, this is Charlie426, and I would like to first off saying Merry Christmas to everybody. Hopefully everybody had a great year, or everybody is staying healthy. Once again, thank you for supporting and watching my channel, and hopefully you will be doing that in the future as well. Anyways, today we have the review of the Beastbox White Noise by 52Toys. Now, I was looking forward for this, and this one was actually coming out much earlier than I expected. So, apparently, usually when something was like shown as an image, usually it takes about 2 to 3 months in terms of like pre-order and then arriving. But this one took way faster than I expected. So, yeah, I'm really happy for it, and I'm really glad that it was able to it arrived yesterday to match Christmas. So, kind of a small Christmas gift for myself. Anyway, so let's get on to the review. So first of all, this is one of those 52Toys products, which is the Beastbox, which you get a mechanical animal or being, and then it can transform into a 5cm perfect cube, and you can store it inside this plastic case, which is called the box charger. Alright, and then as usual, let's go over components. Or before components, let's get the box here. Here is the box. Obviously from the cover you can tell that this will transform into a mechanical owl. I really like the concept because owls are not a common thing to be made in mechs. The only last mechanical owl or mech owl I can think of is the Zoids Blocks version, which was made in a way long time ago. When the time where Gunpla and Zoids were actually competing, I believe. So looking at the back, we have some really cool illustrations going on here, and then here is the design team. The 52Toys is the company, and then in that company there are multiple design teams. So this one, I really can't read that. Only maybe two kanjis here, but still, or Chinese words. But still, here is the team. I'm not sure if I'm seeing this for the first time, because I can't remember every team that was mentioned in each box, because not every Beastbox is made by the same team. So yeah. But if it's their first time, I would like to applaud them, because this I would consider, this might go into my S tier list in terms of Beastbox. Anyway, let's get the components. So first of all, my favorite, here are the cards. The name is White Noise, kind of a odd choice of the name, but once you read the background story on this mentioned in the back, you can pause and read the description below if you want to do so. Looking at the back, you can see the stats are kind of interesting. So I don't think this is much more of a combat style Beastbox. So it has low defense, low strength, courage is somewhat okay, speed and intelligence is very high. So I do think this is suitable for an owl. So yeah. Alright, and other than that, we get the instruction manual. Once again, the good part of this instruction manual is that it shows you both ways, from box to owl or owl to box. So that's a very handy manual. And then here we have the other typical stuff. So number 1, we get a catalog. Number 2, we get the PVC card and the manual for the PVC card. Once again, these PVC cards are meant to be folded in half, and then you put it inside behind the Beastbox in the charger, so that when you open the lid, it would pop out. But once again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, so I usually don't use these. So yeah. Anyway, let's look at the box itself for now. I won't be showing the process, because this one also, it might take a little bit too long time to actually show the entire process. But I would like to mention, of all the Beastbox I bought so far, now I don't own every Beastbox. I would like to mention this first, so just saying. So once again, looking at the box itself, this is one of the most cleanest looking box I have ever seen in terms of transformation. Now, I'm not saying that the others were messy, but still, doing the transformation, there's no way you can actually mess up. Because if you actually mess up the transformation, sometimes when you're supposed to put the transformed cube inside the box charger, sometimes it won't fit. If it's like a tight fit, that means you did something wrong. But this one, even the transformation process, I don't think you can mess it up. So, really clean box in terms of design, and also the engineering has been perfect. Now, in terms of transformation level, I will give this not too hard, as long as you have the manual. Now, it might be a little bit tricky to memorize everything, but still, as long as you have the instruction manual, there shouldn't be too difficult. It shouldn't be too difficult to transform. All right, so before we go on, so last part, there are a lot of spinning parts here. So there are a lot of parts where you need to twist 180 degrees and such. But yeah, it's a simple process, and I do like the fact that they actually use the toes, or claws, whatever, in clear yellow plastic. So really nice touch, and the color scheme, like the white, brown, and yellow, perfect. Alright, so that's enough. So I'll be right back with the transformed version. Okay, I'm back. So here we have White Noise in its owl form, and I absolutely love this. Actually, after transforming it, and then while taking pictures, I had really fun posing this guy. So, once again, as you can see, it's an owl, and this thing actually has a lot of good articulation. So, let's look at that first. So, let's start with the head. Now, the head definitely has some interesting gimmicks. So, there's these flaps on the side of the head. So this, believe it or not, these are the flaps when it's open, but when it's closed out, it actually locks the certain joint in place. So I'll try to be careful not so that doesn't happen. So some of these gimmicks are meant for the transformation into the cube, but while others are just for aesthetics in the owl form. So number one, the head. The head is actually pretty good. The head can go look down that much and up, actually a lot. So this is actually meant for the flying poses, and when you're trying to transform into the cube, you kind of need to do this in some way. And also, you can actually, there's this mask on the top here which you can slide down. Oops, you can slide down to make it into a mask, and then to have a different expression. So this is really cool. I really love it. And then the beak, while the beak is also a clear yellow, you can also move the beak / mouth open. You can open and close. So it's not much, but it does make it expressive. And then the head can also rotate 360. Of course, ooh, that sound is not too pleasant to hear. So the plastic squeaking noise is still happening. Recently, a lot of joints has been tightened up, so do be careful not to snap them off. Anyway, so yeah, the head, excellent articulation, excellent looks. I absolutely love it. Now, looking at the wings. Now, the transformation was kind of tricky when I first did it, but it all made sense. Now, the wings entirely itself, there's one moving point here around this area. So you can move forward 90 degrees. So back a little bit more. So the range is slightly more than 90 degrees. So you can move forward and backwards like that. And then we have another moving point here, which allows you to move this entire white piece up and down like that. And then we have this brown piece right over here, which allows you to move the outer wing a little bit more up and down like that. And then we have this white piece itself. You can also rotate that if you want to do so. You can rotate that. And also, because there's a joint here, you can also move the wings forward and backward as well. So you can really pull off some really cool poses if you know what you're doing. And also, so for those who don't want the wings to be opened up all times, you can also pretty much fold them up like this when it's going to its cube form. Close it up on each side, and you can make it look like it's resting on a tree like that. So that is pretty cool if you ask me. They really made it expressive. Now, back as I mentioned, this is their second bird, not from the design team, but from the 52Toys itself. This is their second mold of a bird. Back then they had a parrot-looking one, and yeah, I mean that was pretty good, but they really improved from that one as well. So yeah, so you can open up and close the wings if you want to do so. Okay, and then let's get the back first. So the back is pretty, you know, a little bit big compared to the front part, but still it's okay. And here is a small hole, so you can connect an action base, a standard action base here. But of course, 52Toys also have their own action base stand, which connects to, I believe, this size hole, if I remember correctly. I don't own one, so I might need to get one soon. So just saying. And so the back, there's not much. You can move the tail up and down a little bit if you want to do so, but it won't make too much of a difference. And also make sure you're moving this brown piece together, because that's kind of a thing in this one. The only less moving part would be that, if you ask me. Anyway, now let's get the legs. Here, the legs, once again, the main connection is a ball joint. Now, when I first got this, the plastic squeaking noise was way more terrible. It was really loud. I did fix it a bit. I believe this side of the leg has been fixed. I did sand down the ball joint a little bit, but I might need to sand down a little bit more. So, anyway, because of the ball joint, you can move forward about 90 degrees to the front. Backwards, not so much, because mostly the toes / claws are colliding with the tail. So make sure, yeah, this is the only limitation if you ask me. But if you look at the legs, there's another bending point here and here. So which is why you can move the joint like that, and also move the feet itself forward and backward like this. And just one thing to confirm is, okay, so the feet does not rotate on its own, but it actually has a pivot joint. You can see there's a pivot joint right over here. So that is really good, because a lot of toys that, like robotic toys, especially from big companies, tend to miss out on these kind of stuff. So I really hate like robot toys that has no pivot points, because their feet will always be like, they would have to be always like this. You have to like cluster them around like this directly to the ground, and that never looks good. So they did a really good job on that. And now the toe / claws, definitely an interesting gimmick. So each toe the yellow parts can also move forward like that to make it look like it's folding up like that. And also, the interesting part is this part. They actually have another extra toe here that can move to the side on its own. I'm not sure why, but I'm assuming they wanted to make it the feet more birdish instead of like this, so I can kind of understand that. But still, kind of a really interesting gimmick. So yeah, they went all out in terms of the design here. Alright, and I think that's pretty much it in terms of articulation here. Now, I think it would have been much better, or it would have been really cool if there was another rotating point here so you can move the wings a little bit forward, but once again, there are limitations because of the transformation and such, so I say they did a really good job. So, other than the beetles, which, like the demon dart, this will definitely go in my S tier in terms of Beastbox rankings here. So, really loving the design. It could be just me who loves owls in general, but still, this is really cool. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the review. So once again, before I end this off, I would like to mention that the transformation here is fairly simple, and there's not many pieces that you can accidentally break. The only part, if I had to be very picky about, would be like these small pegs right over here. Like these pegs, you can accidentally snap off one or two of them, but it shouldn't be too much of a big deal, even when you do so. So once again, if you have a friend or if you want to get into the Beastbox lines, I think this might be a really good start to do so, because it's fairly simple, articulation is great, the looks is very cool. Now I'm hoping that they utilize this mold a little bit more. Maybe they can make a different color variant, or they can make a different animal. Like, I don't know, maybe they can make a bat out of this or something like that. There's just so much potential here. So once again, I really love these products, especially Beastbox from 52Toys. There's also another line called Megabox, which are more mech based or non-animal based. Sometimes they would also use licensed products like aliens and predators. So yeah, definitely looking for future products as well. And I am definitely going to pre-order the anglerfish as well. Yes, they actually did an anglerfish, and they recently on Twitter, they also teased out their next one, which I think is either a unicorn or a horse or a very dark looking zebra. But you get the idea. It's basically like a horse-looking thing. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the 52Toys Beastbox White Noise. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave them comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Merry Christmas, and see you guys next time.